Hello, this is Gord here, and I told you that I would do an update about the plum seedlings I started from the pit. And here they are. It is the 17th, so it's a little over a month. It's about a month and 5 days since I put them in this soil. And you can go back to that previous segment that we had about placing them in the natural soil. Well, here these guys are. They have grown pretty well. Uh, I'll bring it up close for you to see. This one was the better of the two. It really grew. I'm gonna say it's close to 6 inches. The only problem I'm having with this is I don't know if it's spider mites or just dust, but there are webs, and I've read up on spider mites, so I'm gonna have to be careful with that if it's prone to those. This one over here, again, same time. It was December 11th that we started these, and much smaller actually in comparison. And these are just in the natural sand that they'll be in for the rest of their lives. So start at the same time there. I'll try to equal them out for you. So that's an update on those. As you can tell, one did very good, and the other is making it. It'll get there. It was a bad seed because you know when they say if the pit floats, it's bad. If it sinks, it's good. This one back here, it sunk, and as you can tell, it's doing great. This one floating, and as you can tell, it's not doing as well. But it's, you know what, it's still trying to make an effort, and that's what counts. I wanted to show you something else. I'll put these guys off to the side. I keep these, by the way, in a south-facing window. So that way, they have a lot of sunlight. They have a lot of water. I try not to water them too much so they don't get waterlogged. They're in very fine topsoil sand, so that's another thing. I'm trying to get them introduced into what type of situation they'll be in for the rest of the remainder of their life. So that's why I have them in very basic stuff. Now, when I'm first starting stuff out, I'll grow it in a not so much a compost high nutrition level. These guys, since they're going to be on the land, I'm going to right off from seedlings, these two right here, introduce them right into the soil they'll be in for like I said, the rest of their lives. This is another thing. I just got this yesterday. It was like $11.50 without tax. Or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I have the receipt somewhere, and it has 4 locks on it. 1, 2, right there, 3, and 4. And what it has is this rubber seal that seals everything in. And actually, the humidity level is pretty good in here. And I will try to show you. This is stuff that I'm rooting. I didn't want to show you guys and girls this until I had something. And I don't have anything yet to show, but I wanted to show you the process that I'm learning. And we'll go from there. Again, I do have some stuff that God may have allowed to root, but we'll see in the near future. So that's all the stuff I'm rooting right there. A lot of evergreens, and they need to have that moisture, but not too much. You know, act as though it has roots to begin with is what I'm learning. And when you do that, it makes it strive to push out roots, and that's what you want. Now these are blue spruce and another type of like Douglas fir, and then a very funky long needled Christmas tree that a family member of mine had. So I put them in there. I seal it up like so, and this allows it to be airtight. It allows, if you can see on the side here, this is all moisture buildup, and that's good because it allows everything to stay humid. and not dry out. And with needles, they dry. I've learned that they dry out incredibly fast, kind of like figs. So that's why I have them in here. And I also have ambient heat source underneath. It's over there. I place some in indirect sunlight with the underground heat source. By underground, I mean something that's underneath this right here to let them have that heat, which allows the cells to activate and say, okay, we're a little stressed, there's not a lot of water, it's humid, let's push out some roots, let's try to grow. You know, that's what we're doing, we're rooting here. So I have that I wanted to show you, that I wanted to show you. I got, if you can see in the background over there, a lot of stuff from a very good friend of mine. They split a lot of deals with me, so and they got a lot of stuff in return. I got knacking cherries, which is a cherry bush about 4 to 5 feet tall, and they're very good edible cherries, from what I hear. I have Dijon pears from the grocery store. I'm gonna grow them as a rootstock. Um, just like I'm taking these guys right here, and these are California plums that came from a grocery store. The plums, I took the seeds, the pits. I let them chill for 3 months, and then I opened them up, took the seeds out of the pit, let them chill for 3 months, and this is so far a month and I'm gonna say 6 days worth right here. So no, 6 days worth of growth. I also have, if you stay right here, I'll be right over there so you'll be able to see me. I also have more stuff that I'm rooting there. I got the Dijons right there. There's about 3 of those. And let's see, I got some watermelon that started. I have that in a seed starter. Actually, I'll show you that. So this is a seed starter mix that you can pick up at your local dollar store. Heck, you could even pick it up at really any other store, the hardware store, planting center, and it basically retains the water. It's a vermiculite, it's perlite. That's the, well, yeah. So it's the cocoa core. That's just a agent that helps keeping moisture. You have sphagnum peat moss in here. You got perlite, vermiculite, which I also bought. It not only helps with drainage, but it also just gives that little extra push. That's not in this per se. And then underneath I have what they call black gold or something like that. It's not quite black gold. You can get it right at the hardware store, and what it does is adds a lot of nutrition to it. And I'll be back with one more little thing. So here I am back. I don't want to show you who it's by just to keep them private, the company, but you can buy this at your local Ace Hardware store. This is vermiculite. Again, it's for professional grade rooting, cuttings, storing bulbs. It says seeds, start seeds, light soil, retains essential moisture. So keeps it in essential, not overabundant. So this stuff I'm going to try because I'm doing a lot of rooting. Again, I won't show you the name of it just for privacy purposes. Right here, this is the back. I'm not going to show you the logo. Is all-purpose potting mix, and it is black gold. And you can, again, I got this at an Ace Hardware, and to show you what it's like. Again, this is not so much for rooting as it is just for all my other stuff. So, I'll show you what this is like. If you can see that. Again, you have perlite in there. You probably have peat moss in there. And you probably have some other agents of slow release. Slow release. Well, what am I going to do here? Can as well pause the video because both hands are taken up. Slow release fertilizing agents. So again, I won't show you what it is. I'll just show you the back. I'm going to cover my hand right over that. Okay, here we go. So this is, again, just the back. This is peat moss, and it's for retaining moisture and it gives nutrients. This is for rooting, but it can also be for early seedlings and stuff. It's very light, but holds a lot of water. Problem is, this can become very problematic because I've been learning that if it's not in a chamber like right here, it dries out, and if it dries out, it takes a lot to get it to go again. A lot of water to get it healthy again, and that dries out your cuttings. And when that dries out, then they may die, needles may fall, it may shrivel up on the skin or the bark, and then it could altogether just die. So you have to keep them very moist when you use the peat moss. When you use other stuff like triple graded wood chips, that's a different story because yes, the wood chips take away the nitrogen, but at the same time, if they're so graduated, mulched down triple timed, and then you add in bark, bark gives the nitrogen back to the plant. So, peat moss anyways, it comes in 8-quart bags at the local Ace Hardware where I'm from. It may be more or less, I'm not saying that for sure, I'm just showing you. This stuff, this is, I'm not going to show you, but this is, you can see right on here on the back, that is perlite. It's basically like a foam that's broken down, and again, I'll try to show you what it looks like here. Right there. That's perlite mixed in with some, I don't know, looks like cocoa powder, cocoa core or cocoa husk, which is also used for rooting. And then finally, this is the peat moss. I just wanted to show you what it looks like by itself without perlite, vermiculite, or cocoa core. I believe that's the name of it. Cocoa core is a lot like peat moss. It's a substitute in a sense. Right there. That is peat moss. Sphagnum peat moss. It's essentially just different types of moss broken down. And I heard it takes about 10 years to break this stuff down. I also learned that I believe Canada, because I'm in the U.S., Canada has one of the biggest corporate places to get it because it just does so well there. So that's a little bit about what I'm doing. Again, yes, we'll get into the grafting, but I wanted to do new segments. I have another whole thing over there with the rooting. And rooting and grafting go hand in hand because when you root something, then you can graft to the top of it, and then you have a whole new plant. However, I wanted to break it down for you guys and girls. What's essential that you want to grow and what you need to grow. What's invasive, what's not invasive, what's hazardous to the environment around you, what's not, what's naturally already here that you can get domesticized, meaning brought in back here, but better. Like, for example, apples. There's hundreds of apples. And if you have a place that has regular crab apples, bringing in these domestic apples may not be a bad idea because the land's already used to it. Now, if you bring in something that the land's not used to, this brings in a lot of predators, a lot of different aphids and bugs that your land may not be used to. Henceforth, a whole new cycle of life goes on. Now, if it's good or bad, that takes years to find out. Sometimes it can take a summer and it can wipe out a whole crop. It's happened. I know for us, the Japanese beetles, especially the hard shell ones, oh my gosh. I can't stress enough that these things, I've learned of a detergent for the fruit trees. It deters them from laying eggs and eating the leaves. It is basically onion, garlic, leeks, coconut oil, the liquid form, not the thickened form. You mix those together, chop them in a blender, and you sprinkle it. You have to use your hands because there's so much chunks of the different things that you can't use a sprayer or it'll gum it up. So I used my hands one summer, and for the most part, it did work. I found that recipe online. I don't know who invented it. I did not invent it. I just found it online. And again, it's all up to preference. What you want to use, what you think you should use, that's up to you. I've had success with that when it comes to the trees because I know that Japanese beetles, the aphids, will destroy a whole crop and a whole tree. And on top of that, there is something else that has destroyed my Macintosh this year. And it was going to have a real nice harvest like last year. Blue jays. About 12 of them came, destroyed, pecked out the fruit, left the rest. It rotted, so I had to take it off the tree before it diseased the tree. So this year I'm going to try to use a detergent. I don't want to kill them unless it's necessary. So this year I'm going to try a detergent. It's going to be different bird sounds to say, oh, there's a predator that may attack me. I'm going to stay away from this tree. A detergent. Just like with the aphids, I'm not trying to kill them. Those I would like to kill, but I'm not trying to kill them. I'm just trying to deter them away from the harvest. This way, the cycle of life can still go on, but they're not necessarily eating what I worked so hard and what God allowed me to have. So those, I like to use detergents, but if it gets too invasive, then I may have to take other means by trapping and relocating. My last ditch effort ever would be killing. Again, maybe another detergent would be taking a pellet gun, something that won't kill them, but say, oh, that hurts, and then they leave. But right now I'm going to try the sounds with a speaker when I see them coming or put it on a cycle. And that should deter them because that tree is about 25 years old, 26, and it gives off some real good fruit. And I've kept the pruning up on it very well. On top of that, I think I have a honey crisp that in the next year or two is going to have a good harvest. I'm training. I do like to train trees over pruning them because you waste less energy and less growth and you're training it in the direction you want it to go. But I don't like to completely wear it down because it needs movement. A lot of people will say it needs movement, and it's true. Trees need that sway in the wind to have tension and strength as they grow. So I allow for that, but I do train them to go down and have a widespread harvest rather than shoot straight up. And gurging is a problem when you're training, because if you leave a string on for too long, it gurges and cuts off the cell activating layer. So I've learned to keep up on that and make sure I'm always moving my strings at least every year, maybe every 6 months. I should do it, because even in the winter when it's dormant, they're still going. um, I hope everybody's staying safe. So again, that's a little bit of the soils. I have a soil that I got off the land that I use different trees and barks to make, and it's working for the rooting, because you want very little nutrition when you're rooting, but you want a lot of drainage. But you also, here's the kicker, you want a lot of drainage, but you want something that'll hold the moisture. So it's a very interesting medium. Some people don't use pine, but some people use hardwood wood shavings. I use that type of medium for when I have a rootstock that I'm going to be planting in the spring. That just keeps the roots moist. You never want your roots to be dry. You want them to be moist, but not overly wet. And actually, same thing with these guys right here. So that is what we have going on here at the house. I'm gonna update you when these guys right here get a little bit bigger and I'm ready to put them outside. So that'll be a couple of months, probably the end of summer. Oh, by the way, all of these seedlings that I started, the mixed crab apples seedlings that I started from seed, they are almost a year old next month, I believe. But this past fall in 2020, I put them outside and I've been checking up on them every now and then to make sure they're not drying out, because they're very young and that nothing's eating them like rabbits or deer, because they love that with the cedar. And they're doing good. God has allowed them to stay steady and strong. He's keeping good care of them, and it's just a real good blessing right there. I may, because they're almost a year old, try to graft onto them, but they're less than a pencil. And man, to find scion wood that's less than a pencil. Scion wood, by the way, if you don't remember, is the wood from the new growth that's hardened in the winter as you're pruning it, because you don't want all that new growth. That's scion wood, and it can be grafted onto a base rootstock. Uh, or a tree in that same family. And I'm going to try some different grafting. I'm going to try to grafting to roses, different things, like perhaps maybe an apple. Or I've heard this one, you can also try plums to roses, because they're in the Roselia family, the 5 white buds. So I may try something like that. Also, I have a ton of stuff that, oh man, I have a ton of different plants that are going to be coming in. I have a ton outside that I can't even show you because they're in a separate building. I'm loaded in here. But hopefully as we go through and plant those, I can show you how to plant them, how I find it best on my land to plant them, and maybe you can go from there and get some good tips. That's the biggest thing. I got got a couple more rootstocks, 1 peach, 3 cherries, and then I got the knacking cherries, which is a bush, and the 3 cherries that are rootstocks that I'm getting are standards, Mongolium or something like that. I got 1 peach rootstock coming in to match up with my other peach that's already on the property. I got 4. Somebody is trying to root 4 miniature barlet pears for me, and those will go on the property. They're miniature, but actually because they're taken from the shoots of the rootstock, they're going to be a standard. So I'm going to have standard pairs. I got one pair that has a great harvest, and I actually have to get some cyan wood out to different people who I'm trading with for different wood. And I'm getting a lot of different varieties of apples. And I have sweet cherry to go on the cherry rootstocks. So I don't know when I'm going to fit that in to show you, but hopefully I can show you soon. Hopefully this is enough to keep you entertained for now. I'm sorry I'm babbling on and stuff. I've been crazy busy with this stuff, trying to keep myself busy, and I have outside work that I'm doing. So, yeah, God's definitely keeping me busy. But I definitely wanted to show you this container because I just love this container and how I'm doing my rooting. I'm not going to show you any of my rooting. I showed you these rootings, but I'm not going to show you any other rooting until I get, like, something worth seeing, if God allows for that. That's pretty much all I have to say for now. I will do updates. I say I will. I'll try to do updates when I can. There's just going to be so many different things that I'm planting rootstock, so many different things I'm grafting, so it's going to be an explosion when it comes. I'm thinking April to May. You're going to see probably another high intense video with grafting rootstocks and planting rootstock shrubs that I have. I have like volcano RC shrubs. I have, sorry, that's a bush. I also have Little Buddy, which is a bush. Then I have Laura petalum. If I said that right, I'm sorry if I didn't. That is a shrub that can be trained into a tree. And all the three that I just mentioned are for the fall because I want to try to keep the bees here as late as I can so that they just say, hey, let's hang out here all winter long. And then when they wake up in the spring, all the flowers are here. This helps my fruit trees. I'm trying to balance everything else and trying to separate species from species so I don't get cross pollination. Uh, I also have my 2020 Zumpkin seeds, and that's an experiment. A lot of people have Zumpkin seeds. I thought I should throw that in there. Okay, that is all for now, but I'll try to get those updates. I know I've been babbling on. I've been trying to show you stuff. These are 1 gallon containers, by the way. Very nice. Um, just to keep your spirits up, stay healthy and active. Okay, but also relax. Also have chill time because it's winter. Have chill time. That's what I do. I have chill time. Look at me. I'm in my pajamas. Okay, see you later. Thank you for listening in. Gort out.